Hi, I'm Jeremy. AJ's out with family today and, celebrating Memorial Day like a normal person. Let's do this. First up is a story that really made me freak out. It's, Miami. Saturday afternoon, a naked man apparently attacked another naked man on the side of the road, wrestled him to the ground, and started gnawing his face. When the police got there, they ordered him to stop because, he was gnawing on a guy's face. And the guy turned, growled at them, and went back to gnawing on the guy's face. So they shot him, the way that cops do when somebody's gnawing on somebody else's face. And he wouldn't stop. So they kept shooting him, because, that's what you do. And, the guy died, and, the attacker died. The victim actually apparently survived, but he was naked, and his face was actually, gnawed off. To a very severe degree. So they're trying to ID him and, stabilize him. And the point is he survived. So he's lucky to be alive. But zombies are coming to Miami. The crazy thing is the Miami police were, some of them were quoted as saying it's the most violent thing they've ever seen. Which, by the way, if you know anything about Miami, that's actually really, really frightening. Next up, of course, is a story brought to us by Watcher Samantha. Thank you for sending us stories. All of you who do send stories, we read. Some of them we use, some of them we don't, but thank you for submitting. It's a debate going on in the nutritional community about the dangers of GMO, or genetically modified organisms. Under the rules right now, foods don't have to be labeled to show whether their ingredients are genetically modified or not, like the crops that they're derived from were genetically modified. So, apparently most soybeans and corn grown in the United States have DNA put into them from bacteria that helps them fight off insects, which is cool and all, but until today, I didn't know that. I assume most of y'all don't know that. It's cool for the crops, but we're eating this. The corn produces its own insecticide. The soybeans fight off the herbicide that is used to kill insects and weeds and whatever. So the FDA swears up and down the genetic modifications don't materially change the food. But, fans of the labeling obviously say, it's messing with the natural composition of food and it's dangerous and it could lead to, the rise in food allergies and all kinds of things. So, they're demanding that people at least have the right to be informed about it. And they're demanding the FDA make this mandatory. That's going to give a rise to organic, unmodified food like it's already rising because people want to eat healthier and they want to have the choice to eat healthier. And if they don't know that they're not eating healthier, it doesn't help. People like me who think that that's a good idea, labeling that, go down to the New York Times article down there, and they will direct you to the petition to, check that out and tell the FDA, label our genetically modified foods. In some really sad sports news, Johnny Tapia, a boxer from kind of my younger days, he was a 5-time world champion boxer. He died in Albuquerque on Sunday at 45 years old. For those of you who don't know, he has one of the best boxing records in history. He's only ever been knocked down twice. Both of those times he came back to win. He won 58 fights, had clean knockouts for 30 of them. He tied 2 fights and only lost 5. So, that's pretty good, in my opinion. He was a lightweight. He was 5'6" and all that. But you know what? He was a really good boxer. But his personal life was kind of rocky, like a lot of people who are really successful at, say, fighting or other things. He had a lot of violence and drugs in his past. violence as young as 8 years old when he saw his mother die, get murdered more specifically. So, you know, he had a really hard life, and he took it out in the ring, and he was really good at it. So that's kind of a loss to sports and boxing specifically. The details of how he died aren't really released yet, but you know, he actually talks about being surprised he was still alive. In his autobiography he wrote back in 2010, he had been pronounced dead 4 other times in his life from drugs and other things. So finally got him. Gonna hit you with some world news now. On Sunday, Defense Secretary Leon Panetta was on ABC's This Week, because, you know, the politicians do that sometimes. He went on to actually condemn Iran for continuing to try and make nuclear weapons, because, you know, we don't really like Iran going nuclear. Ahmadinejad keeps denying that they're making them, but also keeps threatening the destruction of Israel by fire. So it's really hard to balance those two claims. Panetta says, in his own words, "Neither the United States nor the international community is going to allow Iran to develop a nuclear weapon. We have plans to be able to implement any contingency we have in order to defend ourselves." Pretty strong words from an administration hell-bent on castrating our military, but maybe they'll do something about it. Maybe they'll leave something for our next president to do. But anyways, the kind of hard thing I wanted to talk about today was on Friday, 108 people were killed in Hula, Syria. 49 of them were kids. Right now, it's not really clear who's to blame for it. The government's blaming rebels. The rebels are blaming pro-regime forces. Israel's blaming Iran. The UN is going in there with their diplomatic flag being like, why is this still going on? You're not supposed to be killing your people, or your people killing their people, or whatever. It's really dumb. I mean, we've lost a lot of people in our wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. Over 9,000 people, and there's a joke there, but I'm not going to make it. Over 9,000 people have died in the last year and a half in Syria, stepping up for their right to be a free and independent people. It's really hard to see that kind of thing going on. And, I mean, it's out of control. Mitt Romney and Congress are all up on Obama saying, you know, you should do something about this, you know, military, or, you know, arm the opposition forces or whatever. At the same time, that, I mean, I'm a fan of doing something about it. At the same time, I know about the 80s when we were so against the Soviets that we armed the Afghanis. And, I mean, we can see where that turned out. It's you know, what do we deal with now or later? Or it's really hard to decide. So as much as I want Obama to do something about it, I can see why it's so hard for him to do something about it. If you want to see a pretty decent article about the 80s Afghan operation called Operation Cyclone, I'm going to put a link to the Wikipedia article in the doobly-doo. It's pretty accurate, so check it out if you want to, you know, hit yourself with some historical knowledge. So lastly but not leastly in my book, I really give a lot of crap to Justin Bieber. I really do. Because, well, there's a lot of crap to be said about pop divas. Boy wonders. Moving on. Today I have to give the Biebs some credit, because he was on a date with that other pop diva, Selena Gomez, and, you know, they came out of a movie theater, and a paparazzi photographer accosted them. And whatever the guy said to them, there's no real solid evidence of anything, but whatever he said to him set Bieber off so hard, he actually beat up the photographer. Like, beat him up so well or bad, whatever you want to say. The guy had to go to a hospital and ended up pressing charges over the weekend. Getting beat up by a girl, jokes aside, I've got to hand it to the Biebs. He's sticking up for himself, sticking it to the paparazzo, because, I mean, those guys, I mean, they've got mouths to feed, they've got bills to pay, but sometimes they get stupid with how just inflammatorily they try and get pictures or video or whatever. They need the perfect story so they can sell it to the next guy, and it's a hard knock life there, honestly. But at the same time, my message to the Biebs: if you turn your life over to the public like you did at such a very young age, don't flip out when they decide to come at you. It's gonna be a part of your life for the rest of your life. So be ready to just kind of throw on the stone face and keep walking, and shove them out of the way if they get in your way, and punch them in the face if they try and snap dirty pictures of Selena Gomez or whatever. But don't be stupid. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Jeremy. These are extraordinary times. Show those like and subscribe buttons some love. I always get confused as to where they are spatially. But, throw us on Twitter and Facebook or whatever if you want. We really appreciate it, and we'll continue to help us show y'all that love. Be aware. My name is Jeremy Howard. I approve this massage.